triple their score, which is 9 points, and not get to what TSM is. That is a huge couple of rounds for the #1 team so far in the world, in North America, in these competitions. But it doesn't mean that it's over. This is a game that will last and continue, Brav, and we know that Sentinels still have a lot going for them. But as we follow Fire, as we follow Sentinels on these early drops, they have to get things right, and they do now start to have a little RNG go their way.
They do. We just saw Sentinels, as you'd expect. They were heading sorting, which is also hot this game, which is going to maybe give them a chance to bounce back. There's a lot of loot there to begin with. You and I talked about it before this tournament. There's also 4 beacon options for them. Sentinels are set up well. To be honest, it's kind of surprising that they have sorting to themselves in general. But here they have a hot drop in game number 3. This could be a big opportunity for them to bounce back.
And for those who don't know what a hot drop is, in Apex, it allows you to get upgraded loot, so you have higher chances of better loot, but you also have a guarantee of 1 golden item or golden weapon. So you're going to get a golden there. You may not find it, but it is there in that hot drop location every single game. That's why you'll see most players in your games actually dropping there for the risk. Right here as well, you look at Nighthawk and Mopark and PK6.
Might be something good
this is the MSK side. And, you might actually notice PK6 name from the Twitter clip that made the rounds this week. This is actually the crypto team that started to do, what we can call the portal EMP play, when you send your crypto in to hit that EMP at the same time that you time your Wraith portal, so that everyone kind of comes through the second the EMP hits. We saw them actually take down Snipedown's team with a great play just like that with this crypto comp. So, we heard from a few pro players that they were expecting to see up to 10% crypto, and we're seeing right now about 5 to 10% crypto in this lobby, which is great to see a little bit of crypto, because during GLL time, we knew we weren't going to see much.
And it's probably because he got those buffs. And this last week we saw Gibraltar. We know everybody's been talking about the scalp, but not many people have talked about crypto. And the buffs were the reason people were saying you might see him. And one of the reasons is because it no longer, that EMP that his drone can send out without just scouting, of course, it allows you to burst, deal damage to shield, destroy traps, but it used to affect your teammates. Now no longer affecting your teammates' traps and no longer destroying their shields. The crypto will still lose 50% of his shields, but his teammates will be free. So you can send in that fire squad, go ahead and dominate after you really destroy your enemy's resources.
Now look at the Smile side as they think about heading north towards sorting as well. Also want to get your thoughts, Ray, and you and I haven't talked about this yet. Some pro players, right when the patch hit, kind of saying that the increase of HP from 1 HP to 30 on the drone, not a big deal. I think we're seeing that it actually does make a difference, because if you now, any type of spray or shot from any weapon will not guarantee you taking down that drone.
All you have are longbows, you've got wingman, I think you maybe have other limited weapons. I mean, maybe a charge from a triple take, but you will not be able to, with an R301, R99, even a PK, unless you get lucky, be able to finish that off, and that's what most people are running. So Crypto's drone has a second life. It could just be an inch around a corner, and it stays alive, and that's valuable intel when it's alive in a fight.
Sentinel's already on their normal rotation all the way now to fuel. They're sitting pretty on 3 blue armors, but to be honest, with all of sorting on a hot drop, you might expect them to exit that rotation even healthier. However, they're going to be happy to now continue their normal rotation up towards the high ground.
And I like that they're all equipped with blues here. Got a few shield cells. You see Synox, he's got kind of what he wants. R99 wingman, again, it gives you a lot of pressure, and not running the PK is an option, and it's just, I think, a flavor option, because a lot of players say, give me the burst. You'll look at a player on NRG like Ace, he says, I want PK wingman all day long, but give me an R99, I will take that as well. Some players say, no, wingman R99, I'm not touching a PK right now, that's just where I feel comfortable. Someone else can run that role for us.
And let's also not forget, just in case you didn't catch the open qualifiers yesterday, Sentinels, as we said, touted as the second best team, arguably the best if you look at it in terms of aggression in North America, made it in on a tie break, tied for 7th with 16 points. So 1 point difference, and they would not be joining us in this lobby or at the first major for the Apex Legends Global Series. A crazy story, but they now have an opportunity to kind of regain that title as NA #2, and to be honest, they're going to be looking for an even better performance to take the NA title all up.
And when you talk about performances, we know that TSM, going back to it, is in the back-to-back-to-back position. They're trying to win 4 in a row of major tournaments here, and even though this is Apex qualifying for a major, a lot of these pros still consider this a major, as you see Pride actually looking to fire some G7 and scout shots as well. That's the golden G7. That's a good thing to have in a game like this. But I just would say that you have to consider that these placement points are for something huge. They know they're playing for 500K. They know they're playing for room and board to be able to have an opportunity for that in Arlington in March. And so you're going to see a lot of teams have a chance to make history here.
Absolutely. Now this is the PTM side. Thermites are out as they are now here at Drill, looking to clear out some buildings of their own. Like you said, not only are they playing for that room and board and also an opportunity at a lot of cash and a lot of points, but also, of course, seeding points as well at that major. There's a lot at stake here. They've made it this far. Just like Lulu said on the couch, they got to be proud of what they've done so far. However, there's a lot more Apex yet to play, and this really is just the kickoff to what will be a fantastic year for the very first Apex Legends Global Series.
413 light ammo bullets. I mean, that is a lot of ammo, and I think it's showing you exactly where these players feel comfortable. If you have that, you're starting to just feel comfortable with a G7, because the amount of poke you can do, the shots you can waste on a weapon like this, it's huge, especially with that extended mag, taking your bullet size from 10 to 20 on the G7, which gives you a lot more room for error while also cleaning up the target.
Yep, now we're looking at the Oculix side as they're going to go through Hill Valley, going south towards Train, looking to try to find some comfortable area as well. Ray Rain on this team, he is their Wraith. He was present in Poland. We got to see a little bit of action from him, but a 63rd place exit sent them out of the tournament pretty early.
And that's unfortunate as well. Quality players, and been having some good performances today and over the past qualifiers. Obviously getting here means they're doing something right. Taking the high ground. Is he there? I don't think he is. And he used the grapple already. They've got to time the jump better. We'll see if Ray Rain can make it.
It's a bad zip. It's a bad zip.
And Phony's got to be taking a little heat from that, because you just can't make those mistakes at this high level when you're trying to do it.
Absolutely not. That's an expensive zip. It's really avoidable. And you saw, I think you and I both have the same feeling when he was going up that zip. I think he knew it as well. He even exited the zip early to try to get the grab, and it was not enough. So they're going to have to take the old-fashioned way into Train Yard. But they actually get a very easy route into Train any later in the game, and it's likely that that trip and that trek into Train would become even more difficult. Evan, let's talk about the circle we're seeing here.
Yeah.
We have a lot of things still in the circle. We have essentially all of Drill, all of Train, all of Hill Valley. And at this stage, based on the scrimmage results we've seen, a lot of the teams in this lobby are not going to know exactly where this is going to pull. We even have a lot of Skyhook Pass still in as well. Any thoughts on where this could end up?
I mean, I think you see Drill Site being completely bunkered in by TSM.
Yep.
And that, to me, would give me a lot of signs. If I
And
knew that was
Sentinels as
TSM
well.
right there, and Sentinels, they're bunkering up. They're saying here, I think Drill Site is a huge possibility. So I would just basically go on it, and players do that. They say, okay, where's TSM going? Where's Sentinels going? We may not know, but hey, if we're with them, we're probably not making a bad call.
Absolutely, and Rain, you bring up a great point there. Those are both path teams, right? And teams are looking for where are these paths going early on, especially teams that are getting the immediate beacon off the drop. You want to follow, if you're a Gibby team, you want to get path intel. TSM and Sentinels, not only do they offer great intel in terms of their experience, end-to-end circle knowledge, but also having paths, they're also going to have that in-game knowledge.
Yeah, if you're playing against winners as well, happening to be the top of the bracket, you know that if they're messing up, I mean, at least you're in a position where these guys have been doing well so far. Why not? You see the crypto drone coming in. Is this an EMP that they're trying to set up? You see Bronzy is down. It's just P-Fitter and Timmy. They're running away from this because the crypto is pursuing, and so this is something you got to be careful about. No way to destroy the drone safely. They're just going to keep backing up.
Absolutely. That crypto is in a whole new ballpark of intensity and really danger in terms of what we've seen in the game so far. Now you do see actually teams running from that crypto drone, trying to avoid especially a 2v3 here. But we saw some great games from Timmy, P-Fitter, and Bronzy yesterday. Fantastic to see them through some very disciplined play in terms of the way that they set up on different areas of the map. Very elaborate armor juggling, bringing blue armors all the way back up to top Drill at mid-map, things like that. And a lot of great discipline and calling from Timmy. We saw yesterday, if you didn't catch his scrims, you can catch those on his Twitch VODs as well.
Yeah, and P-Fitter, Timmy, Bronzy, these guys are minds of the game. Bronzy as well at that Season 3 capture event with Lulu and I, Rogue, Huskers, and you could tell he was just so animated about what was happening in all aspects of the pro scene, and you believe that knowledge comes with him too in tournaments and moments like this. It's why they're here. Going for a respawn. Now, this isn't as risky as you would think because they already are known to be in this area, and people at this point aren't going to risk chasing this because they're in a position where they feel the circle is going to end. However, scouts make this a very dangerous drop. I imagine he's going to get shot as he leaves the air. I hope he just survives and hits the ground.
Yeah, here we're now going to go check in with actually the side of Stinky. Now, keep in mind, if you're just joining us, didn't catch yesterday's open qualifiers. These guys came out of nowhere to place first, but look at the shots coming in. Forces the Q on the Wraith. We'll have to back up, of course, going to be able to just stay alive. The only thing they have to possibly worry about would be the pressure from Skyhook. Still possible that someone could be late rotating through Skyhook, but it would be very late. But back to this team, if you didn't catch them yesterday, they actually outplaced Rogue, TSM, and the Golden Guardians in their lobby with 43 points in their semifinal. To put that into perspective, they beat the side of Rogue by 11 points. Also, TSM by over 20. So really big games from them yesterday, and there's a reason that we have our eyes on them today.
I mean, they're pretty good. Those teams are pretty good that you mentioned. I don't know. I wouldn't want to play them, but it seems like Mooman and these guys have no problems.
No, not at all.
And neither does Team Stinky. So Golden Guardian, Stinky, these are two teams we've been following over the course of these last 2 days, looking to see what they'll do, because they are names that already are known, already performing, but could really blow up here if they took top 5, even won this qualifier, securing not only that prizing, but also just a lot of clout. I mean, that's really one of the things that's up for grabs here, a lot of clout amongst professionals.
I like the decision also to just instead go north straight through Skyhook Pass into Skyhook, because they knew they had so much time. They have so much ability to kind of just rotate northwest here, take the long way in. They did not need to force themselves into Hill Valley. I mean, you got a crazy route ahead of you if you're trying to approach Drill. You're also highly visible from Train Yard.
Totally.
It's just a bad route. So instead, they're able to go all the way back through Skyhook. They can even pick up a little bit of extra loot here and take their time as they make this rotation. They also still have a balloon option. It would be pretty risky depending on how far they want to take that, but they certainly have given themselves just the opportunity to plan this rotation a bit more.
And in high-level competitive, these balloons are new to season, to these seasons of being so effective because of the distance. That, in Season 2, you could take a balloon because it was fast to keep your 20 kill bomb going.
Yeah.
Season 3, you take it because it's like it'll take an hour unless you don't take the balloon, because the map is so big and it is such a sniper meta. But with that sniper orientation, then you're going to see people also a little less eager to do that, because you put yourself in an exposed situation.
And here we actually see Rogue in the tri-choke, and they have it set up very well. Honestly, this is probably the closest parallel you'll actually see to a Kings Canyon scenario on the map, if you remember the Kings Canyon tri-choke. Really similar scenarios that you'd see teams set up like this with the high ground. We saw a lot of that early on, so they're going to hold this tri-choke for the time being and hope that things could end on them.
Yeah.
Not the most common. Here we go. Now some action heating up. We see Casello's dropping down, gets that knock as well. He will go down to the Gibby immediately. So that was going to actually be Nighthawk taking down Casellos with that PK in the feed.
And it seems like they were running away Aqualix from another team, and it ends up Casellos trying to get a point, and that was the smart play, I think. If you could have finished him off, obviously the shields now with the changes over a couple patches ago, so much harder to finish somebody off and thirst them if you do not have that fight won or in your favor. But I do believe Rogue here is in a nice spot. You have the tri pass like you were mentioning, but it's so available to rotate to drill site or to get out on the backside of that if it does pull to the other side. So this is one of those things that give Rogue a lot of options. One of the reasons I like them as a team, they plan ahead and they give themselves multiple win conditions to be successful.
Yes, I like that as well. I think they do have the southern exit, the northern exit, and they can gatekeep until they have to make that decision. Rogue is a team that we've been talking about really on a heavy upswing. 7th place at the X Games, 10th place at Poland, but GLL just last month, a 3rd place finish for them. It's their best finish to date at a major event, and I think it really has signaled that they are part of that top 5, if not top 3 conversation. They've also found themselves now with a lobby where they can easily put up a top 3 or better if they play these games right. They've already got a win today in that last game, game number 2 on our Uncharted Territories end circle.
And remember, we're looking at these top 5 teams in TSM, Rogue, Lil Poggy, Sniper Abusers, and Pro. So far, I haven't seen any of them fall, and so they are still gaining points, extending their lead amongst these teams. So expect to see if one of them gets in that kill feed, maybe a little bit of added pressure now from the rest of the lobby or the players that might be fighting, saying, should we push this? It's not griefing. We just want them to stop earning points. And look at this. This should be G-Scout heaven for Aqualix.
This is what we were talking about. You want to avoid this Hill Valley Civil War trek if you can. It is just an open field.
Oh, mama.
And there's a reason that we saw teams rotating north into Skyhook instead of taking this route, but it's actually going to be the Aqualix push that is coming through. Thermites are out as well, and they are not stopping or slowing down, flying in, taking out fences. Let's see what they can find here, if they're able to get any knocks off the break. No, but it's actually Lou who gets the first kill.
This is big, though. The PKs are coming in huge, and it looks like a Qualix push, but they get pushed right back, and they end up going down. Ray Rain does find Silence is golden, though, but it seems like that was just a mess from Aqualix, a push gone wrong. Those Thermites weren't in the position they wanted.
And that was Slurpee G also taken down on the Griefer side, so a whole mess. And there's a reason we talked about that part of the map. Hill Valley, not easy to fight through. A lot of aggression coming out, and we just see 6 squads go down like that. And to be honest, in a lobby with this amount of skill, Rain, that's a lot of teams to exit at that round.
Absolutely is, and you're seeing the rotation on rotation, the little things. When you see someone go, you're trying to have them be the second party so you can be the third party. They engage on a fight, and then you pick off, like carrion birds, the winners of that engagement. And it seems like Bronzy, with that intellectual mind we're talking about, knowing the game so well, and Timmy, the comms are on point. They are approaching it, picking off the shielding, getting their resources up so that they can get ready for these final fights.
And like you said, they're able to just get the spoils
of
that battle, and we are definitely still seeing Rain, you called it perfectly, pulling towards Drill, TSM, and Sentinels, making that early call to set up there, and so far it has paid off for them. GG guys will have to push across Hill Valley as well. It won't be too easy. However, there's a very good chance that every single building in Drill, even underneath the buildings in Drill, they're going to be Watsoned up. So they might have an okay route towards Drill. Getting into Drill will be a very different story.
Right there in front of us, 316, where those fights are happening. That is the biggest control point of rotating into Drill, because that high ground is often in these final circles, and it shuts you down from any angle. Look at this open space. You're going to have to Wraith Portal there, and they know it. Pride. Apex finding his way to just use that G7 Scout and see if they can get this solo player, but it looks like it is not going to happen. Nathan actually getting taken down by Rogue. Sweet. And so there are a couple of kills. This is going to be a little bit of mayhem, bro.
Like you said, PTM with this high ground, it's also in the next zone, so they're going to hold this for the next few minutes. As teams are going to start flying through Hill Valley. They're trying to get these free shots, get any free kills that they can.
And if you have ordinances here, you know you can get a kill. She cannot drop that Watson ult in time. This should do damage, and it is. The Thermite goes in as well. Someone's trying to pick that kill off, but they're exposed. They can back off here. They've got the Watson generator. No ordinances can get up. PTM sitting pretty with 11 squads left.
This is a great spot to be. That's what I was talking about right there. You know, with the types of buildings that we have in Drill, teams are going to be set up inside the Drill buildings, but you can absolutely be guaranteed, just like we saw at GLL, that there are going to be teams who are fully Watsoning up the bottom as well, depending on exactly where they think we're really going to end here. And you do start to see that next circle where it's going to be. Things are going to move even further west.
And you can look at PTM, where they were sitting in those standings. It was one of those things where you say, these guys are showing up, but only 1 point as far as their earlier 2 games. So this could be a huge difference maker for them, but they're going to have to go against teams like Rogue. Full 3-man, still in prime control, prime position to have an impact in these final 10 teams.
Yep, Husker's going to just slow heal on this ult, and you know, I think we used to, if you think about early Apex Legends, there was arguments about low ground versus high ground. To be honest, it's all dependent on the end circle. It's all dependent on the exact building type. Oftentimes, that low ground is not as disadvantageous as it might seem. But if you're just joining us here, a recap of the first 2 games. TSM right now in first place with 30. Rogue in second with 24. And Little Poggies with 23. That's your top 3. 10 squads left in our game number 3 here at the very first Apex Legends Global Series online event.
And it looks like it's Timmy and P-Fitter as well. They've lost Bronzy, it seems like. But it does seem to be, no, Bronzy here, he's up high, so he's looking at his teammates. He's taking the high ground. I love this approach. They're coming from 2 different angles. They don't know where the third is. They're focusing on Bronzy, but P-Fitter and Timmy make it into the building, and the Thermite hits.
Look at that, and somehow Bronzy beautifully dodges a bunch of shots, but just as soon as I say that, loses all shields, and he needs to get the cover. He goes down right away. Also a shot from the north, needs to be careful. Now looking at the RCO squad as well.
And this is big too as well, because they end up finding Bronzy, and they find Lou. So these are a few teams dropping. G-Dolphin ends up cleaning up. Mooman and Sentinel Zoms ends up going out just while RCO White and Gabe his money just sit in this building. So prime position is now starting to pay off for these teams in the top 7.
Yep, Stinky did go down in the feed. You might have caught that, as well as the GG guys. TSM still putting up more kills on the board as well. Now we're checking in with the TSM side.
R301 for Hal. Not the biggest burst, but it's better damage per bullet than the R99. He's going to try to pressure it out there. Blue shields that he's fighting on the left, they know that's a vulnerability. 11 teams watching, only 2 kills are in. That's big damage. 137 almost knocked him there, but does he want to push?
Let's see if he jumps up. Also PK in hand. If there's one guy,
they do.
The PK starts to go up, but he's now in a 1v3, immediately knocked down. Reps is the only one left. He will go down. That is TSM out.
And top 7 going down. Teams are going to be happy about that. Still so many points on the board. This is where it starts to be money. If you're trying to climb up in the rankings, top 4 start to add 4 to 5 to 7 to 9 to 12. And RCO is looking really strong right here in this house.
And here's also the question. RCO, by the way, in the standings, if we look exactly where they are, they're in number 8. They need a big game here. The story also that we started at the beginning of the game, Sentinels has a real opportunity to strike here to get back into the top 3. They are quite far away now. They are in 12th with only 9 points. They need a big game 3 if they want to come out with a great performance here.
And I don't know if that has to be Watson up or they're out of thermites. They clearly aren't. But you can tell that there's so many teams hiding up there and to the left. But look at it, it's Snipe Down and G-Dolphin and BCJ. They are the team that RCO White keeps fighting, but they go up because the circle is moving in, Brav, and this is an engagement they gotta win.
How does he stay alive here somehow? All the attention gets diverted from him. More great scout shots as well. Now, just like that, 5 squads left in the game. Make it 4.
And they take him down, and that is a full wipe by the Sniper Abusers, and they take the high ground now. Anakin, what do you have to say about that? RCO White have to move out of the house, but an R99 deletes. It looks like Brood here, and BCJ as well still alive. This is strong.
Massive in hand for BCJ on the high ground. More damage coming out there on a downed opponent. Also knows he might need to drop down here. 2 squads left here as it's just them, and I think that's going to be it. Yes,
that's
indeed.
it.
Sniper Abusers gets a game number 3 win.
Oh my God. Snipe Down, and that squad not doing any